Hello, my name is Philip Royce and I'm going to tell you about my near-death experience. I prefer to call it my death experience because I actually died and I remember coming back into my body, so when I go to say near-death experience I hesitate because it doesn't really fit what happened to me. Let me tell you what happened. I was sick because of foodborne bacteria. I had been eating packaged salads from the grocery store, different brands you can buy. Unfortunately sometimes they get contaminated with ugly bacteria like Listeria or E. coli. I'm not sure which one I had, but this happened in the Dallas area. I lived in McKinney and this was in December of 2012. It was on the news and I had already been sick for a few days with symptoms like nausea, vomiting and stomach pain. On the news they were reporting that people were in the hospital due to this bacterial outbreak, and that's all I had been eating. Basically I used to eat salads every day, the packaged bag salads. I had already experienced terrible sleep for about 3 days and felt very weak and exhausted. I didn't have much energy and it was even painful to lie down because I would have to keep rolling over every 15 minutes. Due to the pain, when I got out of bed and walked around I would be so exhausted that I would just fall back into bed. It was horrifying because I couldn't sleep and I felt like I was going to die due to the lack of energy. Feeling drained, I got up and got into the shower. I had an enclosed shower, a 30-inch by 30-inch glass shower tub about 4 inches deep with a drain in the middle. It had an aluminum door frame on one side with a magnet latch. I got into the shower, closed the door and turned the water on as hot as it would go. As I stood there I pressed my hands against the tile and began going around in a circle, enjoying the sensation of the hot water. Suddenly I experienced projectile vomiting and hit my head on the tile. I slipped and fell into the tub, curled up with my left side ribs over the drain. At that moment I looked at the shower tub and the chrome piece and thought to myself, don't fall asleep, you're going to drown. Realizing I was over the drain and lacking the energy to fight it, I resigned myself to the situation, saying, "Oh, you'll be okay, God," and passed out. The next thing I remember is being in a place that resembled a room. The walls were like a typical bedroom, but there were other people around me in different rooms. It felt as if we were bubbles and caviar or something similar. I could see different people around me, including a man to my right on his hands and knees moaning as if he had also been food poisoned. I could hear a woman moaning and I could even understand her thoughts. She was sad because she had died and didn't want to leave her young children. At this point I hadn't fully realized that I was dead, but I knew I was in some sort of queue or place where people go after they die to decompress or transition from their earthly bodies. I observed that the people around me were in different states representing how they had died. It was like we had all arrived simultaneously, forming a large queue. I got the impression that we were moving towards the spirit world, or a place where spirits go to process before getting another body and reincarnating, possibly through the moon. There seemed to be a method and a procedure to it, like we were embarking on a journey. Two beings approached my room, and although I can't recall their specific faces or if they resembled angels, I sensed they were humanoid but not exactly like us. One of them spoke to the other saying, "What is he doing here? He doesn't belong here. Send him back to the shower." Immediately I rose out of my bubble, turned around and went back through a tunnel of multicolored lights, not the typical white light often associated with near-death experiences. My memory of that scene ends, and the next thing I remember is waking up in the shower. I had my eyes closed and was underwater. When I opened my eyes I saw the water level over my eye and realized I had drowned. The last memory before that was telling myself not to pass out to avoid drowning. Panic rushed through me as I realized the consequences. I thought about how my family would find me days later as I was alone in the house. It was a frightening moment, but it also made me appreciate the value of life. I pushed off the floor, springing up from the water, and ripped myself off the drain, breaking open the door and rolling onto the bathroom floor. I exhaled water from my lungs for almost a minute. As I looked around I noticed an inch of water on the bathroom floor from my splashing. I stood up, examined myself in the mirror and saw a different reflection. My eyes appeared tired and bulging and my ribs had marks from the drain's grill pattern. My waterlogged skin had started to go down the drain due to the negative pressure. This experience has changed my perspective on life and death. I no longer fear death. Instead, I know that our spirits continue forever. I have lost motivation for my career, material possessions, and wealth accumulation. Many of my former colleagues and family members think I have changed drastically, becoming more spiritually focused and less tied to organized religion. During my experience I didn't encounter the Lord or God the Father, but I firmly believe in their existence. However, it simply wasn't my time to meet them.